congratulating them on the Gaza peace deal. He, in fact, also welcomed the release of the hostages, reviewed the India-US trade ties and reiterated India's zero-tolerance stance against terrorism. So the Prime Minister has spoken to both Benjamin Netanyahu as well as the US President Donald Trump, and this talks comes amid the United States brokering this peace deal. Remember, Trump had also taken to social media to say that this is a historic peace deal and it means peace for the region. Now, Prime Minister Modi has spoken to both the leaders, the Israeli Prime Minister as well as the US President Donald Trump, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to the two leaders, congratulating them on the Gaza peace deal, also welcoming the release of the hostages. He also is said to have reviewed the India-US trade ties in the talks with Donald Trump, also reiterating India's zero tolerance towards terrorism. So Prime Minister Modi has spoken to both the leaders. In fact, he's also taken to social media. So let me take you through what he has said. This is after his talks with both the leaders. He spoke to Benjamin Netanyahu as well as to the US President Donald Trump. And remember, Prime Minister Modi has also welcomed, he was one of the first world leaders to also take to social media to welcome this peace deal that was being brokered by Trump. He had also spoken about how this is extremely significant for peace in the region. And he had said that lasting peace in the region is of utmost significance to all. So the Prime Minister has now, after speaking to both the leaders, also taken to social media. He has also congratulated both the leaders. Senior Consulting Editor Srinjoy Chaudhary joins us on the broadcast with the details. Srinjoy, India-Israel friendship or the relationship with the countries is well known. Benjamin Netanyahu has also often underscored India's significance in standing with the people of Israel. India has also made it clear that this is not the era of war and has been advocating for peace in the region, efforts being undertaken by the Prime Minister and the country as well. Now, Prime Minister Modi, after the peace deal being brokered, has spoken to both the US President as well as the Israeli Prime Minister.
Very importantly, Prime Minister Modi spoke with President Trump. And of course, he congratulated President Trump for all his efforts to ensure that the war between the Hamas and the Israeli forces come to an end. And this has been a very difficult and costly war. About 70,000 people, if you take the casualties on both sides, have been killed in the fighting. Number one. Secondly, and which of course began on the 7th of October. Secondly, he also made it clear that there is no place for terrorism in this world. And let's not forget that Operation Sindoor, which is still continuing in a sense, actually was an anti-terror exercise. In fact, the first 9 places that were hit in Pakistan were all terror camps or terror training establishments. And thirdly, during the conversation, the trade deal between India and the United States came up. Let's not forget that it's still under discussion, it's still being negotiated, while India continues to face a 50% tariff. So all of that came under discussion when Modi and Trump spoke. As far as Netanyahu is concerned, again, he made that same point about terrorism and the fact that the war has ended. But it is very important to note that Prime Minister Netanyahu was with his cabinet colleagues discussing the peace deal when the Prime Minister Modi called. And Prime Minister Netanyahu paused his meeting and took the call from Prime Minister Modi.